Hey guys, today in this video I'll be explaining you the basics of spawn remapping and the keyframe system. So spawn remapping is basically good to save group IDs, and keyframes are basically you can move whatever you like and you don't have to use some standard move triggers or something like that. So we're going to set this to, I've set it to platformer. I'm going to turn down the volume. There we go. And we're going to start off with the spawn remapping. So right now I'm going to make this pillar. So a bunch of pillars is going to go down constantly. So just animate that. So like this, and give this a group. And get a move trigger. So we're going to move this one down quickly, and it's going to go back up, gradually go up. So we have to make sure it's complete. Like that, and we're going to make it easy to be bouncing in and out. What we're going to do now is going back up, and it's just a little slower. Change these a little bit. Like that. To make this one spawn trigger, multi-trigger, give this a group, and going to get a spawn trigger and set that to 2, and as you can see it just does it immediately. That's because we have to take spawn ordered. And then now here comes the remapping. So with this I'm going to make 5 of them into one, and we need this the third group of 3, 4, 5, and 6. And with that, we copy this, but we're not going to put 3 actually. What we're going to do now is we're going to do it here. This is where the remapping is over here. So we just put the original ID, which is the ID that was over here, and then with our new one, which is 3, you click this plus button, and then actually supposed to be 1. So just 1 and 3. And if you want to delete something, you just click it, it'll tint pink, you just click on this button. And there you go. And you can repeat this with other stuff. Then, like that. You climb on top of it too, for extra secrets. Alright, now let's start basics of Keyframe System. So with keyframes, you can move however you would like. But back in 2.1, you have to use the move triggers to move objects. This one. The rotate trigger to rotate objects, and when 2.2 came out, this is not, the scale trigger didn't exist in 2.1, this was 2.2 feature, but with keyframes, you can easily animate basically however you'd like. And I'll explain to you full basics of keyframes. And you see this arrow over here? And I know this looks a little bit complex but don't worry, I will explain to you almost everything. Well, I don't all, for my opinion, I don't know every single one. So the only things I won't be able to teach you is auto layer group ID, even, distance, time, and procs, because I think those are like some advanced features. But yeah, and to do this, we have to copy and paste it. If you're on PC, you can use Ctrl-D, or you can just use this button over here. And then you can freely move around, whatever. So this is basics of keyframing. So just copy it again, and there's this line over here. Line opacity, basically just, disables the line. So these lines are basically, so we're going to start at the object here, and it's going to connect it like that. I'm going to be using a block, for example. We're going to give this a group ID of 1, and for this one, give this a group ID of 2. And get this keyframe trigger right over here. And what we're going to do now is we have 2 pages, and I'll explain to you all of this here, but we're going to explain to you this here. Parent ID is for complex stuff. This group ID is for this group ID over here is for basically just for parent ID, and it says needs to contain a group parent. And so it says the default choose a rotational scaling. Okay. So for this block is the target ID, which is the target for this block to move, and the animation ID, which is in here, give this a value of 2. So now when we play it, and we're going to make this big. So if you play it, as you can see, now it starts moving, and you can add as much as you like. This is not a correct shape. Now it is like that. You can give this a full easing like this, like that. And if you wanna, so duration is like the amount of time you want this thing to that next frame, like 2 seconds. It's gonna take 2 seconds for this to hit this keyframe. X360 allows a rotation, a full rotation. So one makes a one full rotation. Well, you have to do this for this one. So it makes a full rotation. Notice it says seated keyframe 1, 2, 3. And only the first one has a group ID, the rest doesn't. Next up is curve. So curve is really, really useful. This is like the first basics of it, but curve is really great. And if I take on curve, what I could do is that, as you can see, it makes a nice curving like Bezier effect. So you can like do this, and it basically just makes this nice movement. And with the rotating or scaling or warping or whatever, it also affects the object like that. And if you want to do like full animation easing, I'm going to just this again. So if you wanted to make like actual easing from here to here, what you gotta do is select all of this, like all of the middle ones, click on ref only, and it will be transparent. And if you set this to ease in and out, then it's going to make a full easing like that. Preview art basically disables this tool.
Okay, I forgot to explain this to you. Close loop on the bottom left corner is basically for when the keyframe hits at the ending, it goes right back at the start.
One we got is spawn group ID. So what this does is that it spawns So it basically just spawns a group ID when the next keyframe is being hit. So for example, if I want to have this one blocks another block, we're going to give this an ID of 3. And we're going to make this one reappear by using toggle triggers. So with the spawn group, with this group of 4, if you set this to 4, then when this block hits this one, then it's gonna spawn like this. And spawn delay basically just does a delay. So when I do this to all the way to 1, means when you hit this, it's gonna wait 1 second and it's gonna come back like that. And then the last one is over here. I'll be doing reverse order, dub, anim, and select all. Since basically, if you want to, we're going to start with reverse order. So if I select all of this, I think the best part to do is have your keyframe animations like a different layer. And if you press reverse order, that it will be the opposite way. Alright, so next up that we have is dub anim. So what it basically does, it basically just copies it, because if you just copied it like this, it's going to generate another keyframe. So that's where this comes in. Select all. So if I just click one, select all, like that. And so the final thing what we're going to do is the second page. So the second page are basically just modifier stuff, and I wouldn't really say it's useful, but I'm going to explain to you what they do. So time mod basically sets the time. So if I set it to 0.50, it goes faster, and if I set it to more amount of time, that's going to make it like slower and stuff like that. Next we got this position X mod. So what this does is that, basically, let's say 2, as you can see, it kind of stretches in the X position, and the Y position is going to do the same thing. It's going to be more top like that. And if you have rotation or scaling, then it will most likely do the similar thing. Anyways, that is it for the keyframes and spawn remapping. I hope you had a fantastic day, and I will make more tutorial videos later on. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers I get, the more videos I will be making. So I hope that will be it. That'll be for today, and I will see you guys next time.